3, 2, 1. You're live. I reckon that means I better get started. If this is your first time to watch my lecture videos, well, welcome. It usually takes me about 15 minutes to get started. And so usually fast forward through the first little bit. But it's kind of weird, talking to yourself on your laptop. But I have lots of information that I would like to get across to you about sociology. All right. This is beginning chapter 1. I noticed that I did not have a video already made, so this is going to be it for chapter 1. Well, it might take me a couple of videos to get it all covered, but chapter 1, actually the PowerPoints that are located on Blackboard, that's the largest PowerPoints of all semester is chapter 1. Okay. It gives you your basis for the rest of the semester. So there's a couple of things in chapter 1 you really need to get down because you need to know that foundation in order to get through the class. So, and like for example, the term norms, you're going to see norms on every test exam, as in norms are the rules and expectations that guide our behavior. So you're going to see that a couple of times. So make sure you know norms. Anyway. All right. What I'm going to normally do, or what I normally do here, is I open up the PowerPoints. Let's see. I'm going to put the PowerPoints over in this corner so I can, as I give this lecture, I'm looking at the PowerPoints and I'll be going, I'll tell you what number PowerPoint slide I'm on for chapter 1. And then also I've got the notes, which I'm going to move. Where am I going to put the notes? I guess down here. I'll just put them right there. So, I mean, in case I need a little help at what I'm teaching about. Anyway, I see I have one viewer. Hello. I think it's a little different because it's on YouTube and anybody can watch it. I know I put a little note on my sociology page that I was going live with chapter 1 right now. But let's see, I'm going to have to figure out where am I going to put these. Trying to, wait a minute, I got it. There, now I got my notes where I can see them if I need them, which I don't need them right now. And then also, if I start to lag, somebody, holler, let me know if I'm lagging or have lost live and all that good stuff. All right, so let's get this party started. On your PowerPoint presentations, chapter 1, from the book, it's based on the textbook by Henslin. That's the required textbook for the class. It's if you have the book, it will help you tremendously, especially with this hybrid or online format that we've got. At the same time, I'm going to make sure that these videos, the PowerPoints, the notes, the study guides, all point you into the direction to make a good grade in this class. I want you to have fun. I want you to learn something. I'm not here to change your perspectives. I don't want to change your belief systems or morals or values unless they're bad or wrong. Sorry, not bad, but wrong. As in like hurt people and animals. I'm here to give you different ways of being the same social phenomenon. Like, for example, throughout the semester, we're going to use the functionalist perspective, the conflict perspective, and the symbolic interactionist perspective or theories. And every chapter, whatever topic we're going over, it will always somewhere touch on those three theories. Now, in sociology as a discipline, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of theories. I don't know how many, it was a bajillion of theories in sociology. But these three that are in your intro book are three of the most, I guess, the foundations that you need for the rest of your careers. I'm pretty sure most of you, this will be the only sociology class you will ever take, and that's fine. I hope that I make a positive influence in your life, and I hope that you're able to see the world, through different perspectives and try to understand the world around you a little bit better. Look at things a little differently, but not to change you, just to make you aware of things that are out there. All right. So on slide 2 of your PowerPoint presentation for chapter 1, it says, why is it sociology important? Well, first, let me give you a definition, like a general, easy definition of sociology. It is the study of human behavior when more in a group setting, as in we do study individuals, don't get me wrong, but it's how individuals react in a group setting. A lot of times people say, other people like to define sociology by comparing it to psychology. And now this is like not the greatest contrast, but here we go. For example, psychology would blame human behavior on the inner workings of the brain or neurotransmitters or things like that, biological. Not all the time, but some of the time. All right. Sociology, on the other hand, is going to blame human behavior on the environment, on society, on how you're reared, how you've been reared in our society or other societies. For example, today, 2020, this is me. If I was born in 15th century China, I would be a totally different person based on the environment in which I was reared. That's sociologically speaking, you see? So, sociology studies, groups of people or individuals when they react with groups or interact with groups. And we strive to see social phenomenon from an objective perspective, an outsider's point of view, as in we try really, really hard to know what our biases, even unconscious biases, may be, and throw them out the window and try to look at each phenomenon as something without any stereotypes or prejudices or aforethought. Try to look at it from an outsider's perspective. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So sociology, study of human behavior. We study people because people are weird. It can help you make informed decisions. It can help you understand diversity. Like a lot of times when I'm teaching or getting started with this intro course, the reason why this intro to sociology or introductory sociology is usually required or needed for your major is because this class is going to try to explain why people do the things that they do. And if you're going to be in the job market one day, if you're going to be in the workforce one day, or even if you're not, if you're going to be stay at home, it's fine. You're going to need to know about the world around you or be able to understand, what's going on in this world, a better way of understanding. So it helps you learn about diversity, because a lot of times, especially in rural areas like we are in, we grow up, or we are reared, we grow up around the same type of people, possibly the same race, the same religion, the same educational system, the same laws, the same, everything's a lot similar. I mean, very similar. All right. And when you think about things sociologically and you start to notice these differences that you have with other people in the world, when you get to the workforce, knowing about sociology and ways to understand social phenomenon from different perspectives will help you to be able to communicate with people that are different from you and embrace the differences. So that's pretty cool. I'm on slide number 3. It says sociology can help us evaluate social and public policies, which, side note, November 3rd, please go vote. Please vote. Don't throw away your vote. Please, please, please vote. It's an important part of our democracy. And knowing about sociology and knowing how to, you know, uh, take apart these public policies that you're voting on. Sociology can help you do that. Sociology can help you put yourself in other people's shoes to know how it feels to be other people. Like me, for example, I have no idea what it's like to be wealthy. All right. Like, as in $1 million wealthy kind of type. I don't know what it's like. But I can use sociological perspectives to, objectively, to try to figure out what it is like to be wealthy. And I try to put myself into their shoes and see how it feels to be them. All right. Anyway, and then speaking of wealthy, that's who's going to be making the public policies that you are going to need to understand. And you need sociology, I think, to in order to understand and make an informed vote. It can help us think critically. That's one thing that you need to get in your college education, is a way to think critically. And the way I kind of explain this part is by saying that you're able to, and I think I talked about this today in class, but you're able to entertain an idea without accepting it as your own. That's intelligence. That's thinking critically. The ability to take a phenomenon that's going on and take it apart and study each little tiny part. Maybe notice how it's related to other parts. Thinking critically. You're not just thinking unconsciously or what's the word? Spontaneously. No, you actually really break it down, try to figure out what's going on in this part, this part, this part. Is there a power relations going on between A and B? Is there, some kind of scientific method that we could use to understand this hypothesis? Stuff like that to, be able to get a paragraph of a question, of an essay, an essay question, and be able to answer that essay question by thinking critically. And a lot of times that's making the familiar seem strange. And then, also making the strange seem familiar. That's, thinking critically, like understanding it. Let's see. So moving on to number 4. So, again, why do we need sociology? It says, love this. Some people say that sociology is just common sense. I mean, come on. We grew up in this society. We're near each other. We live in this world, in this country. We know what's going on. They make a whole college discipline about trying to explain why people do the things they do. So it's not all common sense. Now, some of it is, don't get me wrong. Just like there's some common sense in biology and other sciences as well. Side note, sociology is a social science. Get to that later. All right. So some people argue that it's common sense. Well, here's an example from your PowerPoint slide. You probably heard that all women are bad drivers. Of course, uh, and let's say that, like it says, you see a woman in a car wreck, subjectively, as in from your own, viewpoint, you pass this car wreck, you see that the woman is at fault or in the car in the driver's seat, they're probably at fault. uh the common sense would be like, see, all women are bad drivers. There's an example. There's a woman in the driver's seat, there's a car wreck, women are bad drivers, you know and what sociologists have done instead is they say, let me do this like this. What sociologists would say about this view of a woman in a car wreck and thinking that all women are bad drivers. Sociologists would say, how about we look at, I don't know, insurance premiums based on gender? Because insurance premiums are usually based on your how many car wrecks you've had, how many bump ins, how many tickets, things like that. As in, if you're more liable, like your premium will be higher if you're a more adventurous driver. If you are a safer driver, your premium will be lower. And what they find using social scientific evidence is that young males have the highest insurance premiums. So who's getting in the car wrecks? Who's causing car wrecks? Who's bad drivers? And I'm not saying it's everybody and all men, but this kind of research shows that actually the people that are most likely to be in a car wreck or cause a car wreck are going to be young males, which debunks the myth that all women are bad drivers. So, see how sociology works? We don't just base it on what our mom and daddy tell us or base it on what we see in the news, base it on the media, base it on commercials. No, no, no. We base it on facts. I'm stating facts. We base it on scientific evidence. We base it on research that has been, and intensely scrutinized for, any flaws. We use the scientific method. We use replication, getting the same results, then it becomes more valid. Or yeah, making sure that the science is reliable. All these things we're going to talk about in chapter 1. So, but the main point is, it's not just common sense that we're learning. Because I'm sure you probably, flip through the chapters and you're like, there's a chapter on race. Yeah, I know my race. Why would I need to study race? Well, in sociology, we're going to break down race by each group category and probably try to explain why we use race, how it's socially constructed. You see how you would think it's common sense to know what your race is, but sociology, like it says, makes the obvious difficult. We break things down in order to understand things better, which sometimes makes it a little bit more difficult. All right, slide number 5. And then it says problems with common sense. It's subjective, yes, as in based on, what your eyes see. Now, your eyes may see a lot. Side note, not everyone can see. Okay, because that's what I just said was a little ableist. But for example, we'll use eyesight. Whatever you let's not say see, let's say experience. Whatever you experience in life, you may say, see, it's true because I experienced it. Guess what? There's a lot of things going on in this world that you have not experienced, and you never will, and you never have. And but you need to be able to explain it or understand it. And you can't be subjective with it from your own two eyes. You got to be objective, as in without bias, from an outsider's perspective, and not judgmental. That's it. Common sense also ignores facts. It's contradictory. It varies across groups and cultures. Now, that's the thing that sociologists also do, is that we look for patterns of behavior. If we see the same behavior over time and across cultures, then it must be something biological. But if we see changes across cultures or across time, then it must be sociologically or socially created if it changes across cultures or over time. Myths and misconceptions is what common sense, yes, it is based in. It's easy to believe in common sense. It's easy to say, oh, that's common sense. Everybody knows that. It's hard to break down, some topics like race and understand why we created these categories based on skin color. That's difficult. But it's easy to say, yeah, my race, I'm non-Hispanic white or Caucasian white. What do we call it? Yeah, white. But sociologists are going to break that down and try to understand, why is this person categorized as white and not European or blah, blah, blah. All right. So slide number 6, application. Decide whether each statement is true or false. The death penalty reduces crime. Divorce rates are higher today than ever before. Most child kidnappings are committed by strangers in the middle of the night. Opposites attract. Guess what? All of those are false. Okay? And so sociology has gone through all of these and debunked them, just like boom, dropped a mic. So it says on slide 7, a systematic study of interaction can show us what really happens. See, that's what sociologists want to know, is the truth, the reality, not what people say they do. We want to know what they do, So that the death penalty decreases crime. Well, in reality, states without the death penalty have had lower homicide rates. So debunk number 1. Number 2, you think more divorce today than ever? Well, in reality, divorce rates are lower today than they were in between 1975 and 1990. Interesting, right? All right. Number 3, kidnappings of children done by strangers. Wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong, it happens. And when it does rarely happen, it is on the media, the news programs, everybody's, freaking out because a stranger has kept a child. In reality, most kidnappings, the perpetrator is a non-custodial parent or not a stranger. Okay? Kidnappings are usually done by family members or the non-custodial parent and not a stranger. Okay. Number 4, opposites attract. We'll talk more about this in the chapter on marriage and family. But for now, people like to say, yeah, opposites attract, and you meet somebody that's your zodiac sign is mine is fire, and you meet somebody that's water, and you think, we will attract because we're opposite. Well, what they found in social scientific research is that compatibility is a more important reason for long-term relationships. And what they find is the more similar a person is with someone else, the more things they have in common to talk about, the longer their relationship may be, or they may be in a relationship. So, and that's actually based on like five variables. People usually partner up with people that are same race, same age, same religion, same educational level, and same social class. Not same, but similar. Like, when's the last time you've seen a millionaire marry a homeless person? You know, when's the last time you've seen a Baptist marry an atheist? You see, most of the time, the variables are similar. So I just debunked all of those common myths with social scientific evidence. Now, slide number 8 from your PowerPoint presentation is finally beginning chapter 1. Yeah, it's 25 minutes in. I'm already needing a cigarette break. We ain't even started. All right. Well, there's your little tap, a little introduction to introductory sociology. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to check it, see how everything turned out. If it looks good, then I'll come back and I'll start up chapter 1, starting on slide number 9 from chapter 1, PowerPoints, insulin. Okay.